The rumble of motorcycles filled the small gas station parking lot as a group of bikers pulled in, leather vests shining with patches that told stories of the road, skulls, flames, and names of brotherhoods that sounded fierce and proud. The air smelled of gasoline and freedom. Then, from across the lot, a small, beat-up blue scooter sputtered to a stop. Its rider, barely 16, maybe 17, pulled off her helmet, revealing a tangle of chestnut hair tied in a messy ponytail. She wore a pink leather jacket, a little too bright, a little too innocent for this crowd. The bikers exchanged looks and grins. "Hey, Barbie," one of them called out, laughing. "You lost, sweetheart?" "The high school parking lot's 2 miles back." The rest of the group chuckled. The girl kept her head down, sliding the gas nozzle into her scooter's tiny tank. Her jacket looked out of place, sparkly patches, doodles drawn in marker, and one big patch stitched across the back that caught their eyes. "Ride for Dad." One biker, a big man with a beard that touched his chest, scoffed. "Cute. Daddy bought her that jacket too, huh?" She didn't respond. She finished filling her tank, carefully screwed the cap back on, and reached for her wallet. Her hands trembled slightly. "Hey," the loudest of them said, walking over. "You got guts coming around here wearing pink leather. What's that patch supposed to mean anyway?" The girl looked up for the first time, her brown eyes steady and unflinching. "It means," she said quietly, "that this jacket belonged to my dad. And he wore it when he rode with the..." The laughter stopped. The Iron Falcons, every biker there knew that name. A legendary group, once feared, once respected. But more than that, they were honored. The man froze mid-smirk. Your dad rode with the Falcons?" She nodded. "Yeah. His name was Mark Falcon Avery." The name hit like a thunderclap. The bearded biker's eyes widened. "Falcon? No way. He was one of the best riders I ever met." He looked at her again, seeing not a clueless teenager, but the daughter of a man who once led them through storms and saved lives on the road. The girl swallowed hard. "He died 3 years ago," she continued softly. "On the highway. A truck driver didn't see him in the rain. He was on his way to bring food to a stranded family on Route 18. The parking lot went silent. Even the hum of idling engines seemed to fade. She touched the patch on her back. "I wear his jacket every time I ride. It doesn't fit perfectly, and I know it looks weird. But when I wear it, I feel like he's with me." For a moment, no one spoke. Then the oldest biker, gray hair, tattoos fading into wrinkles, took a slow step forward. "Your dad saved my brother's life once. Pulled him out of a burning car after a crash near Ridgeway Pass." Tears welled in the girl's eyes. "He told me that story. Said it was the proudest moment of his life." The biker's voice cracked. "You got his spirit, kid. I can see it." He turned to the others. "Show some respect." Every biker straightened. Some nodded. A few took off their helmets. The man who had mocked her first walked up slowly and extended his hand. "Didn't mean to disrespect you, or him. Sometimes we forget there's more to a jacket than the color." The girl shook his hand, her grip firm. "It's okay. He used to say the same thing, that patches don't make a rider. Heart does." The bearded man smiled faintly. "Sounds just like him." She smiled back, tears glimmering but proud. "I'm riding to the memorial ride this weekend. The one in his honor. It's my first long trip alone." Another biker, tall and quiet until now, spoke up. "You ain't riding alone. Not anymore. We'll ride with you." Her eyes widened. "You do that?" He nodded. Falcon was family. "That makes you family too." The engines roared again, not in mockery this time, but in unity. The girl strapped on her helmet, the pink jacket shining in the sunlight. When she started her little scooter, it sounded nothing like their roaring machines, but as she rolled onto the highway beside them, they slowed down to match her pace. The sight was powerful, rows of tough bikers thundering down the highway, with one pink scooter riding bravely in the middle. Cars honked, people stared, some even saluted. When they reached the open road, the bearded biker pulled up beside her and shouted over the wind, "He'd be proud of you, kid." She smiled through the tears that streamed down her cheeks. "I hope so." And for a moment, just a moment, she swore she could feel the warmth of her father's hand on her shoulder, guiding her, protecting her, riding beside her once again. By the time they reached the memorial site, everyone was quiet. Rows of bikers stood around a small monument made of stone and steel. A single line was engraved across the top. "For those who ride not for glory, but for love." The girl knelt, placing a small picture of her dad beside the flowers. "Miss you, Dad," she whispered. "But I'm still riding." As she stood, one of the older bikers stepped forward and handed her a new patch. It read, "Iron Falcons, Honor Rider." Her hand shook as she took it. I don't deserve this." "Yes, you do," he said firmly. "You carry a spirit better than any of us." The other bikers nodded. Some clapped. Some just stood in silence, heads bowed. That day, the teenage girl with the pink jacket didn't just ride for her father. She rode for everyone who ever carried love, loss, and courage on their back. And from that day on, no one ever laughed at her jacket again. The sun had barely risen when Lily zipped up her pink leather jacket and stepped outside. The morning air was cool, crisp, and filled with the faint hum of distant engines. Her heart pounded with both excitement and fear. Today wasn't just another ride, it was the ride. The memorial journey across 3 states, honoring fallen bikers, and her dad, Mark Falcon Avery. True to their word, the group of bikers she'd met days before was waiting for her near the highway rest stop. Their bikes gleamed under the golden light, each rider standing tall and proud. The bearded man, Rick, gave her a nod as she approached. "You ready, kid?" he asked. Lily smiled, adjusting her helmet. "Ready as I'll ever be." "Good," Rick said, slapping his gloves together. "Because today, you ride with the Falcons." The engines started one by one, filling the air with that deep, thunderous growl that used to echo through her childhood memories. For a moment, she closed her eyes and imagined her father's laughter, his voice saying, "Keep your head up, Lil. The road will test you, but never break you." Then, they hit the road. The ride began with laughter and stories shared through the helmet radios. The bikers teased each other, cracked jokes, and pointed out landmarks from their past adventures. But for Lily, every mile felt heavier, filled with echoes of the road her father once rode. As they climbed through the mountain pass, the wind grew stronger, pushing against her small scooter. The other riders noticed and slowed down to match her speed. Rick pulled up beside her. "You good?" he called out. She nodded, gripping the handles tightly. "Yeah. Just, feels like the wind's fighting me." Rick chuckled. "The wind always fights the brave. Keep steady. You've got this." His words gave her strength. She leaned forward, feeling the rhythm of the road, the thrum of the scooter, and the steady heartbeat of courage that seemed to whisper from her jacket. Hours passed, and the group stopped at an old roadside diner, a place that looked frozen in time. The bell above the door jingled as they entered, and the waitress, an elderly woman with silver hair, smiled warmly. "Welcome, boys," she said, then paused when she saw Lily. "And girl. What'll it be?" "Coffee and pie for everyone," Rick said. "We're on a memorial ride." At that, the woman's expression softened. "Oh, the Falcon ride, right?" Lily's head snapped up. "You know about it?" "Know about it?" The woman smiled gently. "Your dad used to stop here all the time. Sweetest man. Always tipped extra for my cherry pie." Lily's throat tightened. "He loved that pie. Used to bring some home for me." The woman walked around the counter and squeezed Lily's shoulder. "You look just like him, honey. He'd be proud you're out here." Lily blinked away tears, whispering, "I hope so." The other bikers watched silently, moved by the quiet exchange. They all knew, this wasn't just a ride anymore. It was a journey of remembrance and healing. Later that evening, the sky turned fiery orange as the group reached a scenic overlook, the same spot where Falcon used to stop and talk about life, love, and the open road. Lily parked her scooter beside the bikes and walked to the edge, gazing out over the valley. This was his favorite place, Rick said softly, joining her. He said it made him feel small, but free. Lily nodded, clutching the edge of her jacket. He used to bring me here when I was little. Told me that when he was gone, I could still talk to him through the wind. Rick smiled sadly. Then go ahead. He's listening. The others stepped back respectfully as Lily closed her eyes, the wind brushing her hair across her face. She whispered, voice trembling, "Hey, Dad. I made it. I'm writing now. Not as good as you, but I'm trying." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "I miss you so much. But I think I finally understand why you love this life. The freedom. The people. The road." A soft gust of wind swirled around her then, gentle, almost tender. And for a moment, she swore she could hear his voice, "Proud of you, Lil. Keep writing." She opened her eyes, smiling through the tears. Rick stepped forward and handed her something, a small, weathered leather glove. "Your dad gave me this years ago. Said to pass it on to someone who had the same fire he did. Guess I found her." Lily took it with trembling hands. "Thank you." Rick nodded. "No, kid. Thank you. You reminded us why we started writing in the first place." The next morning, they rode the final miles together toward the memorial site, a vast clearing filled with bikers from across the country. As they entered, engines quieting, people turned and watched. The sight of the young girl in the pink jacket, riding proudly at the front of the group, brought many to tears. Someone started clapping. Then another. Soon, hundreds of bikers stood in respect.